Hi everybody, Julie here from The Sales Manager. Welcome to this week's Sales Tip of the Week. And this week what I'm going to be doing is following up from where we left off last time. We were talking about how to react and how to respond to customers that want to negotiate. This week I'm going to pick up on what we need to think about before giving in to their demands. So, what do we need to think about? Good question. The first thing I'd say is think about your goals, your revenue goals. What is it you want to achieve that month, that quarter, that year? If what the client is proposing will get you over the threshold on your annual target, it might be something that you'd more likely consider at that point than maybe earlier on in the year. So do sit down and have a look at your goals. Think about where they're at. The next thing I'm going to talk about is timescales. Now, is what the client asking you to do an exceedingly quick turnaround? Do you need to bring in extra time from outside contractors, things like that? Now, if that is the case, there's no way that you can drop your prices because you've got additional things to do. So, do think about timescales. Do consider those in the negotiations. The other thing I'm going to talk about is, what do you want from this? Negotiation is about a win-win, and it's very, very important we consider how we feel about the negotiation and what we want to get. I'll give you an example. When I was working in recruitment, I got very used to clients wanting to negotiate on fees. Now, depending on the size of the future business or whether I got that job role exclusively would have an impact on whether I would be prepared to negotiate. An exclusive job role to me was worth an awful lot because if it was mine and mine only, I knew I was going to fill it. So there was a win-win situation on both sides. I got an exclusive job, the client got a reduction in fees. So that's something to think about. And the other thing to think about is, what could you give to a client which is low value to you but high value to them instead of dropping fees? These are called trade variables. They're the tools that you have in your bag. So let me sort of think about one of my clients. They are a web hosting company. They're a web design company. And one of the things that they will put on the table to help negotiation is free hosting. Now, ordinarily, they would charge for that. They'd charge for that on a monthly basis. But instead of having lots of drop-on high-price web design and websites, they might look at being more flexible and offering free hosting packages. Just gives you some ideas. So those are sorts of things to sort of play around with. And the other thing I would say is, what is your walkaway minimum? And I would seriously consider thinking about what is your lowest level, but what as a midway point would you also consider? Because negotiation really is about getting to a win-win. And once you've thought about all this and presented it to the client, it might be that the negotiations go back and forward a few times until you actually get to the end result that both of you are happy with. So considering your absolute minimum and what else you possibly would accept in the process the way through really helps you prepare. So once we've got all of that, we can then go back to our client and present it. And as I said, do be prepared for this to go backwards and forwards, because they might take what you're proposing and go away and have a think themselves. But the bottom line is, if you cannot get to a negotiation point where you are happy, you don't have to do the business. It is okay to say no. And what I would say is, leave the door open. If the client also wants to walk away, then leave the door open, because things can change a little bit further on down the line. I've had it happen to me where we couldn't agree a price at the time, but 2-3 months later, we were back in the negotiating arena again, and we actually came to a mutual satisfaction and deal. So there you go. Few hints and tips on negotiation. If you want to find out more, you want to learn more, we do run an art of negotiation workshop, and I am going to put the link on this on the messages that this video sits on. But any questions, do let us know. Julie@thesales-manager.co.uk. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll catch up with you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.